Diablito here. Good morning. I want to talk today about Sodom and Gomorrah, which it's one of these stories overused to justify injustice against gay people and other people. Okay, and this is related to what I was discussing before about scapegoating people using the Bible, which is very dangerous, and that's why the Bible is a very dangerous book, people. It's not something to play around with because you can um, start using it for good and end up using it for perpetrating the biggest atrocities in humankind. So basically, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not about gay people. That's a lie. That's not real. That's not true. I mean, that's not accurate. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is about how people treat each other and the priorities of a civil society. Okay, and I'll explain this furthermore. First of all, before delving into that, we need to clarify what the word or name Gomorrah means. Okay, there's a meaning behind the name, and in order to know the meaning behind this name, we have to divide the name into syllables, and we need the help of one of the most ancient languages in the world, which is Sanskrit. Sanskrit means the holy scripture, Sancta Scriptura. Okay, and it's many of the Indo-European languages come from Sanskrit originally or have a direct connection to it, and that's why there are many Sanskrit words in all the European languages. And although Hebrew is not European, Hebrew is not the exception either. Okay, so Gom-Ora, divided into two syllables, Gom, G-O-M. G-O-M or Gom in Sanskrit means to smear or to blemish. And Ora in Hebrew and Aramaic means light, cold, life force, electricity in the old language, in the ancient times. Okay, there's where the word oro in Spanish comes from, and uri, light, and light is connected to the concept of gold, fire, etc. It's all the symbols are connected. In order to understand the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, we need to go back to the story of both Lot and Abraham. As we have explained before, and which we are reviewing again, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah has to do with the collapse of advanced societies compared to living in tents and as a nomad in the desert. You will notice the difference of both lifestyles between Lot, who lived in a city, versus Abraham, who chose to live the nomadic life in touch with nature and minimalism. That's the first point to consider about Sodom and Gomorrah and the difference between the punishment of these cities, according to the story, and the blessing of Abraham, who lived the nomadic life with the with less and in connection with nature. In the story, Sodom and Gomorrah were not little villages, but stood for very developed and technologically advanced societies. The fact that the name Gom-Ora has the root word for gold lets the reader know that it was a very rich enclave. And the story proves this when Abraham wars against Sodom and Gomorrah, and we notice in the story that there is a lot of property and material values involved in that war. Therefore, Sodom and Gomorrah represents civilization, and Abraham in the desert represents living in tune and in harmony with nature, the simple life. The fact that the story speaks of the problems Lot was having with its inhabitants reveals the unethical nature of a society that had lost its way and was in chaos, in which matter took precedence over the dignity and respect and consideration of its citizens. These are the universal archetypes that point to the universal issues happening on earth today, such as is taking place in the big cities and industrialized societies versus Mother Earth and nature and the traditional peoples of Earth. It seems that this issue has been taking place on Earth for a very long time. Sincerely, Devolito.